Previewing Week 12 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with Troy West from allplayswin.com, who's taken 3 games that I assigned him this week. And right now we're going to discuss Oregon State, Arizona State. Very interested to hear what he has to say about this one. Troy, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pete. 2-1 last week on the SBR. Yep. 4-1 in college football overall. Our games continuing to elevate as the season progresses. A great Pac-12 matchup I'm excited to give to you guys this week.
Awesome. All right, great to hear. Troy West. Now, this line, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about it. You know, I trust you. You know, your big strength in college football is the Pac-12. And I don't know, man. Arizona State minus 13 or 13.5 is the line right now. And Oregon State is off the bye. Arizona State, they had a bunch of big wins, and they went into Utah and got a close win by 1 point in a low-scoring game. And Oregon State, should they really be this much of an underdog coming off a bye? They are off of 2 losses. Both of them are kind of forgivable, though. Stanford, obviously an elite team and a very, very rejuvenated and revitalized USC team. Coach Riley's definitely going to have Oregon State ready here. Should they really be getting 13 points here, 13.5?
No, I agree with you, Pete. I'm 100%. I'm going to go with the underdog once again. I think this will be a tough game because Arizona State is a very tough place to play. They've proven that all year. They have just hammered some teams in a very, very similar scenario, being a double-digit favorite at home. They've hammered teams at home. But I think this is a tough Oregon State team that's good on all sides of the football. I think they're good special teams. They're good enough on offense, and they'll get it done on defense. I think Arizona State showed some serious weakness against Utah this week, barely pulling out, like you said, a 1-point win in a game in which they were a 7-point favorite. So I think 13.5 just seems too many. I think this is going to be a Pac-12 dogfight. I do think in the end, Arizona State will prevail, but gosh, you got to like Oregon State in that game. This is a team that won't quit and at any point in the ball game. So even if you're down 17, 18 points late, you still got a great opportunity to cover this game. So I think Arizona State wins this game by a touchdown, but 13.5 too many. I'm going to go with the underdog again here, Pete.
Yeah, I have to say, this is one of the few lines this week that had me really scratching my head when I saw it. Why do you think the odds makers made Arizona State almost a 2-touchdown favorite here?
I'm really surprised. I really am. I think it's just because they've hammered so many teams at home. They beat Wisconsin at home. They hammered Washington at home. They pretty much have cleaned house at home in the Pac-12. So I think this is a much different team when they are at home, when they're playing in that 85-degree weather versus when they travel. So I think there's something to be said for the way that they've played at home. But I think Oregon State's a tough competition, a well-coached team. I do think they'll get it done, Pete.
Yeah, and another thing is that Oregon State had some problems in the red zone against Stanford and USC. Again, a little bit forgivable. The defense of both those teams really stepped up. But if they can return to how well they were doing in the red zone before those 2 losses, this game should go down to the wire. All right, I think we're in agreement here. Oregon State plus 13.5. Thanks, Troy.